Our Target 8 investigators first told you in August about a West Michigan woman who was losing her federal housing subsidy because she has a Michigan medical marijuana card.
She appealed, and Target 8 investigator Henry Erb's here to tell us whether she won. Henry?
Well, it was bad news for Kathy Heller. A hearing officer concluded that the Wyoming Housing Commission's blanket drug policy is wrong when it comes to medical pot, but then ruled the agency can take away her housing subsidy anyway.
I think it's unfair.
Kathy Heller has been packing her stuff into boxes, getting ready to move next week, in with a roommate because she can no longer afford to pay the rent on her own.
Well, I'm hoping that I don't have to have a roommate for the rest of my life now. But for right now, I have to have a roommate.
She didn't have to, but last year she told the Wyoming Housing Commission, from which she got her $600 a month federal housing subsidy, that she has a Michigan medical marijuana card. She suffers from degenerative disc disease and is on disability. She says the marijuana relieves her pain enough that she has cut way back on prescription meds.
The marijuana, I don't need the muscle relaxers. I don't need pills to help me sleep no more.
Try to stick closely to our policy.
As we reported last summer, the Wyoming Housing Commission takes a hard line on any use of drugs, kicking users off federal subsidies. But Heller's legal aid lawyer, Maureen Gottlieb, argued that the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development gives local housing agencies more leeway than that.
HUD says you're supposed to take into account the alternatives for housing that the participant would have if their voucher were terminated, their medical condition, and the benefit to the housing authority for terminating the voucher.
And on appeal, the hearing officer agreed, telling the Housing Commission that it is wrong that Wyoming's blanket policy violates federal regulations. She ruled that each situation must be reviewed case by case. That despite that, the hearing officer concluded that taking away Heller's subsidy is okay because using pot violates federal law.
Essentially, it tells the Wyoming Housing Commission what they're doing is wrong and that they can keep on doing it.
The hearing officer said the Wyoming Housing Commission was wrong on another policy, taking away subsidies before appeals are heard. She made the Housing Commission pay for 2 months of Heller's back rent. We asked for comment from the Wyoming Housing Commission but got no reply.